now have public comment on agenda items. If there's public comment on agenda items, you can go ahead and come to the podium.
Just for the official record, I continue to make the movement of the police and fire to a safe and environmentally acceptable facility my number one priority. I have signed the rehabilitation and renovations to Corliss building proposal for Mr. Schreck, as I believe everyone has, and I've also signed the rebidding of the armory. My plan is to move the police into the armory because I do believe it's a strategic location that improves the safety of the public and the officers. However, I do believe that the administration, the court, and the fire chief would work at Corliss should the 30% evaluation work for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
John Masco, SOA President, PBO Local 56. Couple things. One, we endorse the mayor's plan. I want that to be well known. The other thing, do I have the ability to ask one question? Of the council.
Council President.
Okay. We had a subcommittee meeting scheduled, and to my knowledge, that has been dissolved. But with that, I have never been given any formal notice. The only thing I can say is that we found out via the internet. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
So I can answer that question for you. We did dissolve the subcommittee at our last council meeting. It would have been the mayor's responsibility to discuss this with his department heads, as we are not the chain of command. We're not allowed to discuss it with you.
Okay. No problem. I appreciate the answer.
Sure.
With that, I was willing to remove myself from the subcommittee in case there were any issues pertaining to any litigation and so forth, to make that a fluid process. I feel that the mayor has presented a plan for the police department. I felt that the subcommittee was working for the positiveness of the police department, and I think we were moving in the right direction. And any time we could do that, we were waiting for accurate numbers. Is that correct? I felt we were waiting for accurate numbers from the engineering firm. And at this point, any movement on this by the council wouldn't have accurate numbers. We wouldn't have numbers for Corliss Avenue. We wouldn't have numbers outside of the armory. So I think any movement with a resolution that's about to be presented would be misinformed and unfair to the taxpayers. Because if we don't have accurate numbers, we're going to move into a facility without a true plan given by Stan Schreck. Even though Stan Schreck said the quickest and the cheapest way to move us was the armory. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brad Kisselbuck, PBA President. Just to kind of go off of what Matsko was saying with the subcommittee, we were never told of it. We've had a very open line of communication with those subcommittee meetings that were set for every Monday. And then we find out through the grapevine, it's dissolved. For whatever reason, don't know. We can assume it's because of the litigation with the emails, can't talk about it, but that's not my union.
Correct.
My union didn't send a lawsuit. I didn't get a text message. I didn't get anything saying that this subcommittee was dissolved. Okay, I sent an email to everybody that was in that chain to confirm whether that was done or not. I got a text message back with you wanting me to call you. Now, for obvious reasons, I can't make those phone calls. So, communication has stopped again. And now we're going forth with the bond ordinance that we were in discussion about of tabling until we got the right numbers from Schreck. That he's been given the green light to go ahead and produce these numbers, more accurate numbers, with the armory. That he said in August of 18 that that is the most viable option to put us in the armory. On behalf of the PBA 56, we also endorsed the mayor's plan to move us to the armory. We've discussed this, we've beat it to death. Members do not want to be in that building. Outsiders do not want to be in that building. Prisoners do not want to be in that building. We've made that abundantly clear. And I feel all of our concerns are just being shoved under the rug and moving forward with what you feel is the best option for us. You're not listening to our concerns. Put your meetings back in that building. Take a tour of the building. Now, granted, ceiling tiles get changed on a weekly basis now. I have plenty of pictures. I'll be glad to show everybody here. I'll be glad to put it up on social media of what that building really looks like, that we have to be inside of. If we want to be proactive, we have to be inside. We can only stay outside so long. We're forced to be in that building. We have no choice. We've lost members in the past. We don't know why. At very young ages. This needs to change. This division of power between council and the mayor is now wrapping in the police department and the safety of the town. I told you guys, I'm willing to talk about anything. This is not me. I don't dress the part, I don't play the part, but this is absurd. I don't know what's going on. I hate being up here talking like this, but my guys want answers. They want safety. They don't want to be put back there. At all. At all. And out of the gate, without any discussion, any further discussion, our last meeting we had was Shrek was going with numbers. 6 weeks. He could give us good numbers for the armory. Didn't even wait that long. Said, nope, we're done with it. Dissolving it. Where's his plans? Where's his numbers? We don't even have his numbers for Heckman. Nothing to compare it to. You're making a judgment, a snap decision, a judgment call on Corliss Avenue, and it shouldn't be. All we ever talked about from the beginning of that subcommittee meeting was to get all the facts. You're not providing all the facts. Until you get all the facts, I don't think a decision should be made.
Thank you for your comment.
Reggie Ragford, 390 Heckman Street, Phillipsburg. Every one of the council members, you work hard every day, representing this town, serving this town. The mayor, Ellis, every day he's serving this town. These police officers, every day, are serving this town. Many of them grew up in Phillipsburg, and they love Phillipsburg. I don't know all the issues of the police department. I know there's mold in that building across the highway. But it sounds to me like some of the people I voted for on town council are letting down our police officers. That's what it's sounding like to me, and I think these police officers and the residents of this town need to have an answer from town council as to why this is taking so long, and work with the mayor and get this thing done so these men can move over, and women, well, mostly men I think, can move over to the armory. We're all in this together.
Thank you, Mr. Rayburn. Is there anyone else?
Good evening. Council President, Esteemed Council, my name is Michael Freeman. I'm Vice President of New Jersey State PBA, in charge of labor relations. I'm here as obviously a representative of the PBA, 32,000 members statewide. I get to go to a lot of council meetings. I get to see a lot of freeholder board meetings. I get to advise. Generally, it's on contract issues, grievance issues, whatever they be. This is a first for me. I got to be honest. This is the first where a council is deciding that they're going to keep a group of police officers in a location that you yourselves have vacated. You can't show up for an hour every week, but they're there for 44 hours every week. It's guaranteed. And it's vexing. You recommend moving, or you recommend doing something, but you're not showing a plan for them to leave temporarily, at least, while you even fix this Corliss Avenue property. I had the opportunity to go there. I am afflicted with allergies, seasonal allergies, skin allergies, respiratory problems. it affected me almost immediately. And I'm a healthy person. I do feel that, and I know a lot of people feel that. As you said earlier, you don't want to have your meetings there, they're forced to be there. It's disconcerting that you're putting your police officers in harm's way. I don't know the dangers that they're actually facing. I know the discomforts they're facing, I can tell you that. And that discomfort over a period of time, which could be up to 5 years if you go forward with this plan to remediate or fix whatever you're gonna do to Willis Avenue. It's not detailed enough for me to even speak on it, so I don't know. But I'm hoping that you would consider some type of temporary facility in the immediate future to help these men and women out that are serving the community. Thank you for your time.
2019-81 has successfully passed. We'll now move forward to the ordinances. Ordinance for second reading, which is 2019-07, is currently tabled on 2/19/19, is now for second reading. It's a bond ordinance repealing and replacing bond ordinance number 2017-03, finally adopting April 18, 2017, and providing for the renovation and conversion of 675 Fordyce Avenue into an administrative and public safety building to house the administrative police, fire, and emergency management departments by and in for the town of Phillipsburg, in the county of Warren, state of New Jersey, appropriating $6.5 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $6.19 million in bonds or notes to the town and finance part of the cost thereof. Is there a motion?
So moved for discussion?
I'll second.
Discussion? You should open it up to the floor first.
Yeah, open hearing.
This is now open up to the members of the public. This is the second portion for the public hearing, so if anyone has anything to say, they come up to the podium.
About this ordinance.
Yes, sir. State your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, I'm Peter Andrade with the New Jersey State PV. I'm the first vice president. Again, we represent 32,000 members statewide, and like Michael just said before, our vice president in charge of labor relations, we unfortunately have the opportunity to go to these types of meetings throughout the state. The one thing I did notice, though, is that in the bond ordinance, there is not a plan to house the members temporarily during the renovation or remediation or whatever you want to call it. You know, it could take several years. Who knows, once you start peeling the layers apart, what the damage is going to be there. There may be more mold and more issues once you peel a layer off. You know, obviously $6.5 million is a lot of money, but is there a plan to put our members, you know, temporarily somewhere so that they can effectively serve the citizens of this town? We don't see that. You know, again, they have a plan out there. You know, they strongly suggested that they should go into the armory. They say it's a viable option, right? You know, our president before, our vice president before just said, you know, it affected him when he walked in there. It's effective. You know, you guys moved your people out of there. You yourselves are not there. Those men and women that serve the township faithfully are there every day. They show up to work. I was discussing with the chief. Their sick time is not affected by this. They're faithfully serving the members of this community, right? And they're asking for you to listen to them. Again, it's just kind of shocking that there's no plan for a temporary part of where they can go and effectively serve the community. So again, when I walked into the building, I saw that there was a sign that said that the employees through that building are the assets of the community, right? You know, you moved other assets of the community. You didn't, you know, move the major asset of the community that you have here to keep everybody safe. So, you know, we're just begging that you just listen to the members of the local PBA to, you know, follow the plan that they want, because those are the guys that are going to be, you know, implementing the things that your directives. You know, whether it's, you know, going out there and doing proactive patrol, those are the guys who are going to go out there and do everything, right? And then ultimately keep everybody safe here. So we just want to hear a plan, and if you have one, we'd be open-minded to listen to it, and if not, also help with one. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? close the public portion and I'll
Nope.
move.
30 seconds.
Reggie Record, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. I support the troops, I support the police. You hear it from all the Americans, rally around the flag, but are they paying their taxes? Are they proud to be paying their taxes to support our troops? And what are we going to do as town council members? I think the members of the PBA here and the members of the community need to hear something from our elected council members, something. Are you going to work with Mayor Ellis, who I think has been doing a responsible job in trying to resolve this problem? I think our elected officials need to say something. You just can't, I mean, you can just sit there, but something. Yes, I'm going to work with Mayor Ellis and we're going to resolve this in it. Maybe you can't promise 3 weeks, 3 months, but very soon.
So, Mr. Regret, after I close the public portion, then council gets to discuss it and we get to make our public comments.
I'll be sleeping by then.
It's,
But thank you, I'll read about it in the, I'll read about it in the newspaper.
it's immediately thereafter.
Thank you. Thank you for being so respectful.
Thank you.
No, sir, serious.
Okay, now we'll go ahead and move forward and close the public portion unless anyone else would like to come up. There being none.
No.
Public portion now, or just before I look down? Okay, closing the public portion. Moving forward, Councilman Lutz, do you have anything?
Yes, we did have meetings. Yes, we did have meetings. I thought they went fairly well, but every time we end the meeting, we always need prices, and there was never prices. There was never a firm commitment of pricing for either place. I was under the impression that everybody was going to go back to Corliss Avenue. And I can't see why, if we go back, why can't you guys go back? I just don't understand it. We did not move you out of, we did not move ourselves out of Corliss Avenue. It was the mayor who moved us out of Corliss Avenue. Okay? And it's up to the mayor to really find a place. I remember when we first found out about the mold back in 17, an executive session, how bad it was, that we went all over town. The mayor had us all over town looking at buildings to see what's going to fit for. And when we went to the Fillmore Street, the old school, he said we couldn't be there. That was his #1 priority. We couldn't be there because of asbestos. And we ended up there. For some reason, we ended up there. I just don't know where to go with this, because it's not really our, as council, to find a place, a temporary place. It's up to the mayor to find a temporary place for the police officers. When you come up and you say that it's us as council, no, it's not us as council. We appropriate the money. He's supposed to come back to us with a place and what it's going to cost and whatever. And he has never done that yet. So, that's my comment. That's all I have to say right now.
Thank you. I would ask just the members of the audience to just hold their comment, or I would have to ask you to leave. Councilman Davis?
Sure.
Thank you.
I will be voting no to this ordinance tonight. I still don't believe that we have the necessary details on this plan to be authorizing such a large sum of money, unless there have been plans submitted that I'm not aware of. We still don't have the type of detailed information we need to be issuing debt of this magnitude. And for clarification to some folks who might be concerned, when we originally became apprised of the issues of mold in the building, we did, through the mayor's office, approach the police department to figure out what it would take to move the police facilities temporarily. And with our understanding at the time and with the expectations that we had, with the alacrity we would be able to move to a new facility, it was determined that we would use short-term mitigation and constant testing, another resolution which we have on the agenda tonight, to ensure that the air was safe for the police department, because it was going to be over $1 million in capital expenses to renovate the old Journal of Commerce building to be able to hold prisoners and move all the dedicated communication equipment. We did try. I do apologize, at least for myself, for the amount of time it has taken us to do this and for some of the hiccups that we've hit along the way. It was never our intention to take this long, and I'm hopeful that our engineer will have the fully detailed plans that we need to make an informed decision and get the police department into a safe and permanent location in the very near future.
Thank you, Councilman Davis. Councilwoman DiGirolamo.
So just to clear up some of the information about the move, I believe the subcommittee was set up to discuss the temporary move. And we put significant funding in the budget for a temporary move. That temporary move comes from the mayor's office. It doesn't come from council. After much discussion on this, this seems to be a proactive approach. Now, I've been against, I solely sat here by myself and said no to moving to the Armory on the first one. And I was probably the only person to walk through that building with the chief of police to see the level of contamination in that building. I voted against it because I was against the plan to not move everybody from that building before I was on council. And I'm still against that plan of not having one that doesn't include everything, because it's making the same mistake twice, frankly. And I don't want to see that happen, where we make plans for half of the municipal staff and not the other half, which is what doing one without the other falls into. To me, this is not completely definitive. It's a proactive approach that I firmly believed years ago the best solution would be to remain in one building. I firmly believe that. I have 25 years of construction experience, and that's what my gut instinct and experience tells me. That's coming from $200 billion project experience. That's what it tells me. So I've always been very confident. I think what this is simply a proactive approach. Should those numbers come in to be less expensive to go into one building, we have it ready, the mayor can act. This isn't telling the mayor what he should do. This is simply getting this ready so that you're all able to act as quickly as possible, because up to date that has not been done. When did this happen? This has been going on for almost 3 years now. Third, I read in great detail, because I read specifications daily, I read that entire report on the Armory. There's mold and asbestos in that building. It would be, frankly, a terrible move to put you back in there temporarily. It's putting your health at risk again. Again, I don't like to make the same mistake twice. After much discussion, I am pretty confident that what council is looking towards is having this proactive approach, and that they're confident this time around this will be how the results will come through, how I suspected the first time. So with that, I'm going to be a yes.
Council Vice President.
Thank you. I want to thank the two PBA vice presidents for showing up this evening. You spoke clear, and your message was very deliverable. It's nice to have communication with you guys instead of getting a PBA letter on how evil Council President Fulper and I are. So it's nice to see good representation on that side. Chief, it's nice to see you here. Again, I like to see you here more often. It's nice to see the men here. It's not their responsibility to come in here. They're doing what is right, and I don't blame them. If anybody can speak clearly on this, it's going to be me. I heard the words through the grapevine, through the internet, division of power, snap decisions. I wasn't even thinking about becoming a councilman when our mayor found out about this problem. That's on him. And to the PBA vice presidents that are here, or anyone that comes to the podium to start speaking about the words I just said, please understand our role. We're doing so much work that we're actually crossing over. We're doing more and above and beyond what most councils do. That we're crossing over. And when we cross over, now we're getting blamed for the stuff that he doesn't do. That's getting you the hell out of that building. I grew up in that building. I know the code to the back door since I was 7 years old, for God's sakes. And I take offense to someone who did not do their job, and we gotta hear it. You're in a mold building that wants to go to a mold building. That's lawsuit written all over it. It's a bad move. Councilman Lutz and I are on the subcommittee for the redevelopment, who actually talk to developers on a weekly basis. Now we have 2 developers interested in the armory for good community use. Now, it may never come to fruition, but I didn't hear the mayor speak of the plan of the Corliss building. So we have one molded building sitting there while the other one gets fixed. Possibility, under this premise, we might have 2 buildings that may look pretty sharp in the town with a $6.5 million remediation. Because I always said, if the air conditioner wasn't bad, where would City Hall be? And I'm not saying police, I'm saying City Hall. I find it atrocious when I walk into Freeman School. Where I went to school, Freeman School, and I got the mayor putting angry notes on a chalkboard. That's my memory burned into my brain. Instead of working on what he should be working on. And it's getting you out from day one. And the lieutenant who came to the podium, you had a call from Council President and I, both of us, within 40 minutes. And we promised to work. And we went to the subcommittee, but it got steered in a completely different direction. Now, I'm still learning my council job, but I stay in my lane. So when people talk about taxes and saving money and everything else like that, that's fine. So let's everybody stay in their lane, and we'll worry about taxes. We'll worry about getting screamed at, going up. My plan is to have 2 beautiful buildings in here, and it is the mayor's job to find a temporary home for you with a whole lot of money that we've appropriated and spent a lot of time together thinking about and voting on. It's pretty simple to me. Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome. So in November of 2017, prior to us even being elected, I mean, I heard a lot of officers, and I think a lot of the officers, some of the officers that came to the podium don't realize that some of us weren't even elected yet when this problem came about. This problem started, and back to the SOA letter, admittedly starts in 2017. Well, 2016 via the emails that I've read, but 2017, I think it starts being dated in the SOA letter. After being elected, we sat in a meeting with council. At the time, it was the deputy municipal attorney, previous council, the mayor, the chief, and Rich Hay. Councilman Davis asked for 2 sets of bid specifications, and the mayor balked. The mayor balked at that completely. As a matter of fact, he even spoke negatively about Councilman Davis in some of the emails you're going to read, because it was not his plan. So, June 1st, 2018, now mind you, this wasn't on the mayor's mind after we swore in. This wasn't on the mayor's mind in February of 2018, March of 2018, and I go on to June 1st, 2018, when we finally when we finally sit down, and we put it on, we asked for the chief of police and the chief of the fire department to come in, and then we were told, well, you give me a list of questions. Give me a list of questions, and I'll have them answered for you. Well, that's not how life works. Okay? And I'm not speaking to the officers, just so you understand. I'm speaking to the mayor, because I don't know about the rest of you, but when I went to school, teachers didn't say, you didn't say to your teacher, give me a list of questions and, well, I'll get the answers for you when I come back. That's not how it works. Eventually, we were able to vote in August. We passed it. I believe it was 4-1, I believe. In December, the bids came back. They came back almost $1 million over. In January of 2019, we were instructed by the mayor and Stan Schreck to reject those bids. On January 26, 2019, correct me if I'm wrong on the date, Lieutenant, but that is the date of the SOA letter, correct? Is 20.
What was the date again?
January 26th?
Yeah, I believe so.
Around about time. In that letter, it did state, get us out now. I immediately picked up the phone and called the lieutenant. I then sent a message to the mayor, which you will all read, because you will all get those emails. And I requested he move the police department immediately because it's been too long, and his exact words to me were, you have no authority to make that decision. You gentlemen and women do not understand, some of you do, because you were on email lists, and there is a perceived conflict of interest, but what you don't understand is that you're all pawns in a political game. Because I sat in an executive session, and I worked my tail off to try and get a plan together with the mayor. Not even 2 days, 48 hours, was a post on Facebook from the mayor, lying through his teeth. And when we release those executive minutes, everyone will realize that they're lying. They're being redacted currently, right? So when they're released, you'll realize, okay, that he was lying. This is his job. This isn't our job. I would love to move you. I'd pay tomorrow to move you. I can't move you to the armory because, and I'll give this to you. Here's the report. There's mold and asbestos in that building. It does not make sense. This was someone's pipe dream, and I get it, and I understand it. But I'm even more aggravated at the politics behind the scenes, and I was good up until that press conference in front of the library that was such garbage. I didn't move the council out. I didn't make that decision. That decision was made by the mayor. He moved everyone but the police department. Everyone but the police. But it's our fault. We're the ones who were wrong. Well, that's garbage, and I'm not going to take it. And some of you know that you guys are being used as political pawns, and some of you know it's garbage. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm completely innocent. I'm not completely innocent, because I'm just as aggravated. Was it a snap decision on my part? Absolutely. You know why? Because that man procrastinates entirely way too long. 2016, everyone should have been out of that building. We have a decision to make. And yes, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but fortunately, I did speak with Stan on Saturday. As a matter of fact, it was Saturday when I was walking by you doing the fingerprinting, I was speaking with Stan. And he had told me this was the cheaper option. He can get everyone back into the building. We get our courts back. We get everyone right back to where they were without you guys being in the basement. Okay? Because you were so adamant about not going back in the basement, I worked with Stan and I asked him, please make sure they do not go back in the basement. And he assured me there will be no officer in the basement. I know what you guys want. I have 14,500 other people to think of. I don't want you in that building any more than you have to be. I implore the mayor to move you, and I would implore him to move you tomorrow. But he won't, because it's an election year, and because it makes us look bad. That's why. It's nothing other than smoke and mirrors. No, please, no. Don't clap, because I can't take it anymore. He's playing politics with every single one of them. And some of you are guilty of politics as well. Some of you, not all of you. But don't think I haven't read the emails, because I have read the emails. I've supported you guys since I've been here. I will continue to support you. Even if I end up with 100 tickets on my car. It won't matter. I will continue to support you. You don't have to like me, guys. I gotta do a job. You guys have to do a job. Jesus Christ, we keep letting politics get in the way of everything. Do you realize how bad it is out there? And I'm not talking about the drug addicts you guys deal with. The people in general are divided. when a guy who's running for office can sit up there and lie in front of the library and say, they should be moved. Well, he's right. They should have. But he should have looked at the guy to his right, because he's the only one that can move it. I'm voting yes tonight. And I pray to God that Mayor Ellis moves you immediately. Roll call.
Councilman Davis.
No.
Councilwoman DeGarmo.
Yes.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes.
Council Vice President McVeigh.
Yes.
Council President Fulber.
Yes.